Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
I said good afternoon, everybody. Can we raise our hands and just kind of like get the blood flowing a little bit? My name is Adam Shimoni. I'm here from Flagstaff. It's good to be here. This is the second time I've been to the summit, and it's the second time I've been a part of the panel. So I'm really glad to be back here and be invited to come back and speak to you all on such important topics that we're here to discuss. I'm here on behalf of Flagstaff Biking Organization. It's a 501c3 that's been in operation since 2001. And we started our group with the main focus of Bike to Work Week, which is what it was back then, and also some trail issues that were occurring up in northern Arizona. Obviously, Bike to Work Week is now Bike to Work Month, and hopefully will become Bike to Work every day and whatnot. But it's great to be a board member with this organization that has about 2,500 members and focuses on trail initiatives and city efforts, county efforts, and does a lot of advocacy and a lot of actual building and partnering with agencies and members of the public, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of do quite a bit. It's really great. And I've been involved for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and my background is in advocacy. And go ahead. Is someone moving the slides for me? That's great. I am. Okay. So yeah, that's us in front of City Hall last year at our Bike to Work Month kickoff ride, and then that's one of our recent Bike Month FBO meetings with some of our partners at the city, at the county, and at MetroPlan up in Flagstaff. Shout out to MetroPlan who's tuning in from Flagstaff. Thank you all for everything you do, and we'll be talking more about that. Thank you. But my background's in advocacy, and I eventually got into politics, and cycling advocacy was a big part of my campaign and a big part of my focus as a politician. I ran in 2016 and lost by 59 votes. I ran again in 2018 and got the most votes. So if you don't get it the first time, try a second time. And getting the most votes made me vice mayor. So I got to serve as vice mayor in Flagstaff and then as a council member. And now I'm just back to being a citizen, which is a wonderful thing. A big thing I want to focus on before I kind of dive into some of the things that Flagstaff is doing that I'm so proud of is the discussion in Flagstaff and how that conversation has changed over the years. A lot of times you'll hear, even here, people talk about safety, right? We talk about bike needs and pedestrian needs in the lens of safety. But what do engineers think of bike and pedestrian needs through the lens of? Who knows? Shout it out.
Level of service.
That's not quite it. Levels of service is mentioned a lot, but that's for cars. What is bike and pedestrian needs spoken to through? What's the word? It's not safety, right? Because our roads are safe in an engineer's mind. It is comfort levels. As soon as I realized that, my third year on council, I had our city engineer squirming in his seat because he realized that I figured out the key term, and it is comfort. When you start talking about comfort levels, that's when engineers know you mean business. So please take that back with you. It is not safety we're talking about when you talk to city engineers and engineers in general. You're talking about comfort levels. And then different types of riders. I have a slide later that talks about different types of riders. How many people here feel comfortable riding on most of our streets or some of our streets? We are what we call the elitist in Flagstaff. You all are the 1%. Okay, and be proud of that, but at the same time recognize you are within 1% of potential riders of a community. And that we are not trying to cater to us. We are the crazy ones that are willing to get out there and wear a helmet and hope that it saves our lives, right? We are trying to target in Flagstaff the 60%, the concerned but interested category. My mom is often who I bring up. I'm like, if my mom can ride this, we're doing it right? And you all know what I mean by that, right? The 8 to 80 philosophy. So that's a big shift in mentality that Flagstaff has really taken on, which I'm really proud of. And we had a big priority shift. So we flipped our chart. We adopted at a policy level. Bikes and pedestrians come first, cars go last, right? We also adopted a Vision Zero philosophy and a policy. And we have community support, we have politician support, and we have city leadership support. But yet, we still wrestle with struggles that everyone else faces every day of the week, it seems like, up in Flagstaff too. And I think it's because the engineering culture around car priority, right? Even though we set the policy, we still prioritize cars in Flagstaff. And so this project, we were kind of prompted with a few ideas, one of which was to talk about projects that you've been working on and that you've had success. This is a major roundabout at a major corner of 4th Street in Butler in East Flagstaff. This was going to be a 3-lane roundabout. 120 feet to cross one leg of the roundabout as a pedestrian or a cyclist in each direction. So 240 to go from one corner to the other corner, feet to travel. That's not really putting pedestrians first. But yet it was a protected roundabout. But through our advocacy and through FBO, Flagstaff Biking Organization's efforts, we got it down to this, which is a 1.5 to 2-lane roundabout. And I told the team I'm not happy about it, but I'm not as upset about it as the other plans. So this was considered a win. But this is kind of what our town is moving towards, is protected roundabouts with RFBs at each leg, which are those flashing lights that allow you to kind of stop traffic. So if they are going to build a roundabout, at least give us the ability to stop traffic and don't allow kids and pedestrians and cyclists to try to negotiate whether or not they can cross, right? So that was a success. This is Butler. This is the corridor that you've heard a couple times today about the grant funding we received to elevate these lanes. These are pilot lanes that I've been working on for the last 5 years, and I'm very proud of these, and actually texting with our city streets person right now about issues with the current pilot lanes and how some of them got removed in recent winter maintenance. But these are the pilot lanes. They're too thin. I'll tell you right now, if you're looking at doing these, they need to be 8 to 10 feet wide, not 5 to 6 feet wide. And it also makes it a lot easier to maintain when they're a little bit wider. But recently, city staff were talking about these lanes and the speed along that corridor, and recommending removal of all pilot lanes, and also leaving the speed at 35, 40 miles an hour, which is deadly, right? That speed is dangerous. And so we organized, we wrote a letter, we rallied hundreds of people to show up at council, and the speed is being lowered by the city council through an ordinance that took 3 years to do, but it's happening now. It goes into effect mid-May, and staff changed their opinion on whether or not to promote removal of these bike lanes and changed their opinion to say keep them. I have a feeling that's our city manager at play, saying don't you dare try to remove these bike lanes. So very grateful for leadership. This is kind of what I was telling you all about earlier. Speed is dangerous, so we've used this graphic a lot on social media, and then that types of cyclists, that 60%, if you shift people into bikes by creating comfortable opportunities for them to get around, that increases carrying capacity of our roadways. So a lot of times on social media, you'll have people say, how dare you try to build more bike lanes? Who's going to pay for that? How are you affording this? They don't pay for registration for their bikes, right, like we do for our cars. But they don't realize that this is a win-win. When you build separated infrastructure and you get people out of cars, you create less congestion, right? And so really echo that in your community as you try to navigate some of these tricky waters. There it goes. Okay, so this is a social media post I made just expressing gratitude. Utilize social media. It's your friend, builds momentum. These are the Butler corridor bike lane plans to go from the top to the bottom plan, where we separate the bike lane from the road, because paint is not infrastructure, right? Everyone say that. Paint is not infrastructure. It can go a long way in making you more bike friendly, but that again serves the elitist population and not the most vulnerable, not the 8-year-old, not the 80-year-old. So we really need infrastructure. Here's that Safe Street for All grant. Again, shout out to MetroPlan and Flagstaff. They actually took the initiative to apply for this grant, and they got the grant for us because of that. The city did not have the capacity or the desire. Well, they might have had the desire, but they didn't have the capacity to apply for the grant, but MetroPlan did, and that's what got us this grant. Protected intersections are coming, and we are very proud to be embracing them. I think we have 7 in the plans in Flagstaff, which is huge. I remember, I think last year we were saying that no town in the state had one, and I said that we're going to beat you all to it. So I'm proud to say that Flagstaff's on track to having 7. This is the pie chart that we adopted as a council when I was still on council that puts walking and biking first. I took this from Portland, and Portland does great work. Just some supporting documents that the city has. Climate neutrality, if that's something that resonates with your community, definitely lean into that. When I made that connection at our town in Flagstaff, I think that's kind of when we got some real momentum. But we linked our plans as trying to adjust engineering with sustainability. So we're calling it the big shift because we're trying to hit that third of the emissions sector, which is transportation, right? Obviously, our regional plan and other documents speak to the needs that we're trying to address as well. Just wanted to share on social media, a lot of times I'll take photos of what other towns are doing, or I'll see things on social media that I'll take screenshots of and post as our own, just to create momentum and share that, like, hey, they're doing it, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I know it's scary for us because it's our first time, but they're doing it, why can't we, right? And a lot of times I'll take clips from us speaking at City Hall that I'll either film or I'll download it from the city website and then repost it after I clip it. And I'll also take videos I see on TikTok and other social media, and I'll download them and repost them. And they get us thousands and thousands of views. So utilize social media, it's your friend. And then there's also point of view, POV videos I take. You can literally take your phone, get a phone mount for your handlebars, put it on your bike, make sure you wipe the lens before you use it, and just film yourself riding and post that. And you can speed it up in a number of different apps. And you can make a nice little short video that can reach thousands, that can really kind of bring awareness to walking and riding in your community. So just wanted to share some social media techniques. And then we're gearing up for Bike Month, which is coming up soon. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think I'm out of time, but there's so much more to talk about. Again, courage should not come from our city councilors. Sorry, should come from our city councilors, not from our children. Let's fix this together and keep bringing awareness and keep the good fight. Thank you all for having me, and pass on the mic.